Brooksaw Antiques here. Today we have this 1918 Underwood No.3 antique desktop typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Very nice condition for being over 100 years old. Up top is the adjustable paper guide. This helps you load the page in straight, and you want to line that up with this paper finger because it has an edge on it too. So when you load the page in, both of these need to be lined up with the page, and the margins are up front, so these margins have to be in between the paper fingers, or else you'll type over them and they'll get stuck. So we're going to set that right there, and that's right in between. Two margins right here. This is your left margin, this is your right margin. As you can see, it threads right through these, and these are adjustable too, but I like to keep them right there for now. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. Hit this line space, get you back to the beginning, and skips 1, 2, or 3. Right now we have it on single, but if you want double, you just flip this to the 2, skips 2, flip it down one more to the 3, it skips 3. That works good. We're going to keep it on single and finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence on the next line. Beautiful typing machine. They do not make them like this anymore. Very well designed, manufactured and engineered typewriter. Dominated the market for over 30 years. One of the first models that were visible writers, meaning that you see when you type instead of the downstrike, which comes from the bottom, and you have to feed the paper to see the print. And those are usually the Remington blind writers. So this one came after that, and it revolutionized the typewriter industry. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side. You just flip it down, and it unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easy, or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back up before you load the next page. And people ask a lot, what's the difference between the Underwood 3, 4, and 5? The 3 has a wider carriage, so this has a 12-inch carriage versus the 10, which is the 5. A 4 and a 5 will have a 10-inch carriage, and the 4 has less characters than the 3 or the 5, so it doesn't have some of the fractions and the @ symbol and stuff like that. Got a backspace on the top left, that works good. Shift on each side and a shift lock on the right. To clear that, just hit the opposite shift button. This is your color selector switch. Right now we have a solid black ribbon, but if you have a dual ribbon which has red on the bottom, you would switch this switch to the right, and the vibrator goes up a little bit higher, so you print the bottom portion of the ribbon. If you flip it to the left, it'll print the top portion of the ribbon. And a fun fact, if you have a solid black ribbon, you can use it twice as much by just switching the colors when you get done with the first one. So that works good. Also, there's a lever behind here, a little secret lever. If you put it in the middle and lock it, it'll lock it in the middle. So that way the vibrator doesn't go up at all when you print, so it just doesn't print anything. It's called a stencil. We're going to keep that pushed to the left right now so it prints the top portion of the ribbon. And then a little hidden is this little thing right here. This is your margin release. So the margin is not hard to bypass on this model, but if you want to bypass the right margin, this is what you would use. The left margin is right here. You push this button in and you'll bypass the left margin. So since we got it past the margin, we're gonna press it again and go past it, and now we're gonna bypass this margin, so it'll stop typing on this model when you get about halfway to past that margin, and to bypass it, you just hit that and it'll let you type a couple more, but it'll never go all the way past that. So that's kind of a cool function, but it doesn't really serve a great purpose. Like later models will have a more accessible margin release. This is your ribbon reverse plus wheel that will ratchet the ribbon. All the brand new ribbons loaded on the right side, so it's pulling to the left. So you push this in to pull to the left, you pull it out to pull to the right. That works good. These are your tabs. So I'll show you the tabs on the front, but these are how you set them. and you just pull them, and there's teeth that they lock into, so you can just move them wherever you want. There's this scale up here to tell you exactly what space you're on when you do it, and then you just lock this in. Just gotta get it lined up. And if you're not using them, you can just put them all the way to the left. But right now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And I'll show you from the front. This is the tab key right here. So you'll stop at each one of those. And there's a drag right here. So if you want that drag to be faster, you can just put a little oil on that. Right now it's really dragging hard, but I'll let you deal with it. Whoever buys this can deal with that. This little lever right here will help tighten the tension for the carriage pull. You don't really want to mess with that unless you're doing maintenance and you know what you're doing. This lever here, if you flip it up, it'll disable the spacing when you turn the platen knob. So you can get to an exact spot on the page. If you push it down, each one of those clicks is one space. And the same concept when you pull this out, does the same thing. You push it in, get the clicks, each one of those clicks is one space. And that's it, now available on eBay or Etsy, search Brooksaw Antiques.